my hat. I knew that it wasn't possibly the last hat someone wore. I might take it with me, but I tend to leave hats and socks behind. Other stuff I'll collect off the road, but it appears that someone is selling hot dogs in front of the Ace. If you happen to have some extra cash and want to have a real bit of a culinary adventure, I'd go check that out. They have street corn, which is always pretty cool. Outside of that, I hope y'all are doing good. I just got my friend's prescription and we are heading home now. David, it ended up costing like $1.50 with the insurance, so we're all good. And I don't think it needs to be refrigerated. But just in case it does, I have the refrigerated pack. And I have a coffee in there. But let's give y'all the walking talks. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? I hope we are all doing well. This is the gas station I was complaining about. Not because it's like a bad gas station or anything. It's a fine gas station. In fact, it's cleaner and newer than any other gas station on this road, I would guarantee. But, I mean, what does the extra mile offer that Ingalls right at the corner or West End at the corner of that or the gas station right beyond that I don't think you can quite see next to the used tire store doesn't offer? I mean, if they had given us a racetrack, it could at least be, you know, the gas station to compete with all the restaurants here on the restaurant road. My little name, trademark, get it. But, no, I mean, seriously, I don't remember what exactly this road is called that Ingalls is based off of. I know we're about to go by Henderson Drive is what we're coming off of. Or maybe that's what that is. See, they keep changing things around in this little town of mine. I swapped it like I was going to be looking into the camera. Sorry about that. But the reason it's more or less the restaurant road is because, and I feel a little bit confident as I work off of this road, but getting a little cocky just because on the road we have a Taco Bell, a Wendy's, we have a Dunkin' Donuts, we have in the Ingalls a food court. The Ingalls is at the end of the road past the trees. Down the road further, we have a McDonald's, a Zaxby's, an Arby's, and a Martin's. And behind that on the other side, we have the delicious Mexicana, sorry, you can tell why I don't do ad reads. But we have the delicious Mexican experience that is El Nopal. Like I said, this is basically, if you're looking for lunch in Cartersville, this is where you come. The other side Main Street area has actual food too, but this is where you get all your fast food together. We effectively divided Cartersville. Oh, there's 16 of y'all. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Now there's 7. Well, how's everybody doing? 7, please nobody else leave, he says jokingly. But yeah, both sides of town have about the same restaurants on it. I just like to pretend like these have better teams because, you know, we're plucky and trying to prove our new restaurants. New being stretched because the Taco Bell been there a minute. When the Taco Bell got put in, they had a chrome exterior on that brown tower. It aged pretty well, actually, I'd say. I mean, personally, I wish you'd do that whole Minecraft green thing, but yeah. And hey, this part of town gets a sidewalk. I also thought I'd do this to let y'all see where the sidewalk ends effectively. Who else remembers that old book from my childhood? I miss those poems sometimes. Oh, well, everybody be dwindling out. I get it. Walking streams be kind of boring. I could make it spicier. I mean, I don't quite know what to be spicy about, you know? I mean, it seems like our country's goose-stepping right into fascism, which is different than the first time we did it, because at least the first time we can say we didn't know no better. Now, if you turn on the TikTok, you can see the genocide, 24/7 live stream. Complete with IDF soldiers dancing over children's graves. Man. See, this is why I don't like to talk about our actual news and stuff. And there, everybody's gone. But it's like, that's why I don't like to talk about our news and stuff, because it's so damn dystopian, I mean, what else could I talk about? The fact that AI is slowly killing us all, and effectively, at least according to Cambridge, Harvard, and a couple of the other colleges. I don't remember everyone that was involved in the study. But over the past 20 years, our cognitivity, our attention to detail, our ability to read and comprehend has dropped substantially, noticeably. Like, when we took the lead out of the gas, giving us smartphones, we might as well have put the lead back in the gas. I mean, that's a metaphor, of course, considering, at least the smartphones were only killing ourselves and our planet. With the lead, we were full on killing the planet. So it's like, I guess, better, but not. Either way, taking you on the little tour of our town. This is Shaw. I remember when this plant was built. Originally, Shaw was a little ways down the road where the tire factory is now. Plant's been here a minute, though, a long minute. And it employs a great number of fellow Cartersvillians. In fact, if you've got a job that pays a living wage and you're not busting ass for, literally 7 days a week, you probably work at Shaw. And that's not to say they don't work there. I'm positive they do. It's just one of the few actual, hold down jobs in town. Everywhere else, you're on a competition basis. And basically, as soon as they can move your ass on, they do. There's a whole two of y'all. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing out. I love y'all. And it's people like y'all that keep the channel going. The question is, can I get that without risking my body too much? I think I can. Yeah, I can. As long as we can. Let's grab some bubble wrap and throw it out. Because we're going to pass a trash can anyway. I think we're going to pass a trash can on the other side of this electric box. There's a little work area. Oh, yeah. But long ago and far away, back when this town did have third places, I want to say it's where the CVS and Arby's is there. There used to be, and I mean a long time ago when I was a child, there used to be a skating ring and a bowling alley right there where the Arby's and the CVS was. And yeah, it wasn't free by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't that expensive for the time. And at least for our students, anyone that went to Taylorsville Elementary, at the time there wasn't a Woodland Elementary. But to anyone that went to Taylorsville Elementary, you could easily, if you read 5 books, you got a free round of bowling or a free skating expedition. I don't think they called it expeditions, but they called it something cutesy, I kind of think if we brought that kind of stuff back, it would help out our youth a lot more. I don't think we will, because an intelligent and well thought out populace is, detrimental to capitalism. You need to keep them dumb and just smart enough to pull the levers. Not smart enough to question why the levers are being pulled, just good enough to follow orders. And that's what our system does a great deal of. But that's the road they're working on currently. That I personally hope they add, walking areas too, but I think they're just going to widen it out. Nothing in this town is really made for pedestrians. In case you can't tell, the sidewalk was one of the first things put in, and it's probably going to be one of the first things to go. There's a slightly better sidewalk over there that's fairly newer. And there's our one lonely mountain. It's a lovely lonely mountain, isn't it? I wouldn't try to climb on it. The type of stone that it is, it breaks off in sheets, it shears. I think that's why they never did anything rock climbing wise around it. Now, if you want to have that fun thrill, you either got to go to town center or Lake Point. Lake Point is that direction in Emerson. That way, then that way. Lake Point has a bunch of cool stuff there, though. They also, apparently, from what I hear, had a comic shop nearby. But that was back when David had a car, so eventually I may take a hike out to Emerson and see if the comic and record store is still there. But before I hike that kind of a distance, I want to have, some folding cash. Something that'll both keep me hydrated on the hike, as well as something that'll, do a little something. There is the Mexican restaurant I was talking about, El Nepal. It is one of the finer eateries around this area. The other Mexican restaurant, and the only other Mexican eatery around here, I believe, is if you go towards El Nepal, take a left where that red truck is, take your first immediate right at the light, and then head straight until you get to your first parking lot. At that point, you'll be at El Charo. El Charo is, or Charo, Churro, I'm not sure. I think it's Charo, though. Like Pokemon or to char the food. It's Charo. But I'm digressing. The point is, if you go there, it's a lot a bit more expensive than El Nepal, but it's also a little bit of a higher end, El Nepal is where I would take my work crew, my buddy, where we eat at on the Norm. El Churro or Charo is where you'd go on a date night or something, Also, I feel the portions at El Nepal are probably a bit better. We just traveling along the railroad next to the lonely mountaintop. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, dead air is the enemy of YouTube, but I also don't want to plagiarize nothing. And that used to be the fire department. Our fire department now moved over on the other side and behind Taco Bell. Now that's Westside Animal Hospital. They are not bad. They are not great. They are about medium. And for the area we're in, they're pretty damn good, actually. When we go to take the boys to the vet, it won't be there, sadly. It'll be much further away. They go to the one next to Comcast, which will be in Cartersville proper. And oh, what a fun-filled day that'll be for y'all to tag along with. That one we might have to bring a battery pack. And I might not be able to one-shot that one and just hike it. But we can hope, and maybe we'll be able to. Now that's a fairly historic-ish building. That's the Styles. They have been around in these parts for quite some time. And I think the Collision Center Auto Accessory area is the newer one. When they first started, I want to say it was just that one little garage there, Styles Collision Center. They've come a long way. And I'd like to think, I could be wrong, but I'd like to think they did it while also uplifting all their employees, not just the management. Again, I can't be sure on that one. Y'all know how capitalism goes. Not well for anyone, I would say, other than the top 1%. Hop, hop, hop. But we just boot scooting on down the road now. Making good time, because typically when I'm walking, I'm on that side. This time we'll be able to walk, and normally I don't start shooting the videos till past that bridge a little bit. Today I figured I'd give y'all a little bit more of a show since, one, not in work uniform, so harder to tell where I work at specifically. I do work off of this road. And two, well, leaving the Ingalls, I figured it'd be more fun for y'all to see the full walk. For sake of clarity, it is actually a much cooler day today. It is only 84 degrees. But with the heat index, according to the weather app, the AccuCheck weather app, again to be specific and clear with y'all, it says it is 85 degrees, feels like 93. That's neat. Whew. And boy, howdy does it, but it is nicer than it was the other day. This is our creek. Typically, when I have leftovers that don't make it to the woods or to the dogs, this is where those leftovers go. It is very low today compared to normal. You can actually see the bottom of it. That's kind of cool. But yeah. See, I'd like to talk more about like political matters. Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm one, slightly cooked under the sun, and two, it's a little more difficult to, newscast while I'm walking. If I were at a protest or something, bet you that'd be awesome. Then I could give you all some live reporting. But I'm not, and we don't do that in Georgia that frequently. We did a few for BLM, Black Lives Matter, back when George Floyd was murdered. And I gotta say, the turnout was amazing, and the people were very well behaved, very well mannered, and we did a lot of good shit. I haven't seen my countrymen come together since then, sadly. Now, that being said, granted, the No Kings Day was probably a hell of a good protest here, too. Just nothing in Cartersville that I could see, and nothing that I could attend, because sadly I was working that day. And that is our local lads farm supply. I would go there, but they also sell Trump flags, and I refuse to support fascism in any form. It makes it difficult sometimes, as they are like the one farm supply around here, other than like Home Depot, who's also on the boycott list. It's cool. We got tomato plants from leftovers at work. We can gather plants secondhand and from people. Be even more better. Oi. And again, just because I'm treating this as if you were walking alongside me, friends, we're gonna go ahead and I'll let you know. If you do not stop in at the lads or at this chevron here, there will not be, and there is one other spot past the train tracks here. But after that little restaurant area, which I would not suggest getting drinks from only because of expense, you can spend $1.50 in the gas station or $4 at Domino's. I'll let that choice be up to you. But, that's depressing. But as I was saying, if you want to get a beverage, this is the last place to get a beverage for the next about 4 miles. I won't be getting a beverage as one, I cannot afford it, but also because I have a Dr. Pepper in my hand that I got from Ingalls and a coffee in the bag. Right now, I'm just trying to find a dumpster to throw our plastic friend in. A dumpster, a trash can, something, other than the ground. You know what? They're a big company. They'll be able to take it on the teeth. We'll give them the plastic. And their high fence will keep it in. That way it don't get blown out into the nature again. At least until I can find, see, this is why cities should provide ample trash cans and things like that. Little stuff that makes it better for people. It's like how you constantly hear them bitch about, oh, LA, the homeless people just shit on the street. Maybe it's just me, but my response to that is, okay, well, do you have bathrooms and ample places for them to go? Because just being a human, personally, I'd rather not shit on the street. But if I got to shit and it's the street or my pants, well, I'm sorry. I do believe somebody might just shit on the street, you know? We're going to cut across here. Nice little safe, get the hell out of the road. And then on our way we go. Now this is typically more the route that y'all see. Now we're back on track. And a drink that I got out of the fridge at the Ingles, where I started recording at, is now room temperature, I would say. Also, hiking through the tall grass, which is just a little bit safer than being on the road. Yeah, the nice lady that I made the frame for, and the picture, I should say, the whole thing, she might buy another piece of decor for her house, which would be pretty cool. But also, yeah, she was apparently under the impression there were hiking trails and such. Y'all, let me tell you, if you do not like my takes, if you do not like me, that's fine. Please show this to someone, if for no other reason to let people know. Yeah, no, the cities do not care about our pedestrians. In fact, according to the Highway Safety Institute, pedestrian deaths, as well as pedestrians being hit and left for dead by vehicular people, or by vehicles, sorry about that, I don't have a script, but the number has gone up by 25%. That's a lot of people getting hit compared to just, a year ago. Now, partially, I do believe it's people are in their cell phones. And for that, I think, cell phone laws would make a good difference. Not much of one, but a little bit. Hello, one person. I don't know if you're David or somebody else, but welcome to the stream. Now, as I was saying, I think cell phone laws might do that. But another thing, look at my height and look at that truck. If I were walking and that person were inebriated or lacking in sleep, as most Americans are, which is shown to be just as detrimental as being inebriated, check out Mythbusters for that one. They did that one, and I think it's free on YouTube. But tired driving is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than drunk driving. And a lot of Americans drive real tired. Add to it the fact that we're driving bigger. I mean, again, just look at the vehicles, y'all. The one in the front's about human-sized. The others dwarf that front one. And if any of those hit you, the reason that the front one and the littler ones curve the way they do is so if they hit you, you roll onto the hood and then roll off. It absorbs a lot of that impact. I mean, not enough to be, yay, fun, but enough to, not kill you. As opposed to the pavement princesses and some of these bigger trucks that are just flat-faced. If those hit you, you get pushed under the tires. Something about vehicles that everyone should know that kind of surprised me that everyone doesn't know. I just took it as an idiom. When it comes to vehicles, if you go up, you'll stay alive. If you go down, you're gonna die. There is no in between, because if you go under the vehicle, that's just it. Lots of hot metal, not a lot of clearance. Going up, you'll hit the windshield and you'll hit a bunch of bullshit and it hurts coming down, that's for sure, but you'll live. And I'd say that staying alive is part of the problem, right? But like I said, it's just people really got to take care of each other, especially right now with the government doing what it's doing to intentionally try to destroy us. And like I said, take it as your call to action. It's not a call to violence, it's just a call to action. Develop a hobby. If you can draw, cool. If you can't, try picking it up. Try storyboarding. Try doing anything other than just letting your hobbies be drinking and smoking the dank weed. That's all I'm saying. I feel like my generations and the ones below us are lacking in hobbies. Our hobbies have become, oh, I want to have a big vehicle. Our hobbies have become, oh, I want my big vehicle to look ridiculous while it drives down the road. Or I want to have a billion fucking Labubus. I'll admit, I don't know what that is. I know it's some kind of weird, freaky looking stuffed animal. I think it's also some kind of a food product. I don't know what's going on with y'all no more. I'll be honest. But I mean, y'all, while collecting can be a hobby of sorts, I guess, I wouldn't consider it on the same level as being like an artist or something. Just because maybe if you obsess over your collection like Hannah does with her media, where you could really sit down and host an entire show with what you've collected. That would be cool, I guess, and that's fine as a special interest. I guess we can flip this around so y'all can see the fun I'm seeing. Do you see what I see? This is the safe route. Don't you feel safe, folks? Boy, howdy, wouldn't it be nice if Cartersville would install a safe way for us to walk? Because for the record, I'm one of the youngest people that hikes back and forth through here. Most of the people that are walking with me, when I rarely see them, are in their 50s and 60s. They're also having to walk this road with the same number of people. And for the sake of letting y'all see it, I'm gonna go ahead and crouch down a little bit. This is the grass. Do y'all see what these folks are having to walk through? Is the city gonna keep up with it? How great has the city been at keeping up with other projects? You know, how's them roads coming along? Oh, I guess not good, huh? Yeah, I'll dog the city until our city gets better. Stop prioritizing wealthy landowners and start prioritizing your fucking citizens, you assholes. Because the wealthy landowners will leave you the moment that a hotter place shows up. And right now, we are in the devil's asshole. So remember that. As climate change gets hotter, we're going to go from being temperate forest to being tropical to then being desert. And right now, I don't know what happened. I hope. Apparently, started a poll there. That was neat. But for sake, I'll just restart where I was at. We are a country, and in the South here, we're in the devil's asshole. It's just gonna get hotter. We started out as temperate. Now we're moving more tropical. The next phase, hopefully after I'm dead, but no promises, is gonna be more of a desert environment. A lot of these grasses are already starting to get taken out by rocks and the like. Eventually they won't be able to survive. That's a big eventually, of course. Like I said, I doubt I'll see it, but then again, I didn't think I'd see the temps hit the temperatures they've hit recently. Also, just for the record, where I'm currently walking at, if anyone behind me decides to be an asshole and pass illegally, something that they might very well do because people in this town are known to be assholes, yeah, I'll get hit. Just hands down, know that it'll happen, camera will get thrown, live stream will hopefully stop, and I'll likely go to the hospital, and I'll videotape from there. I'm only getting off the road now because I kind of got to, and into the poison patch we go. Because after all, Mr. Mack Truck can't share the road. How dare I suggest that he share that road? Don't I know he's bigger? Therefore, it's his road. I forgot. I thought here in America we all pay taxes, we all fund the roads, so we should all be able to use them safely. Silly me. I forgot. I'm thinking like a citizen, and I need to realize we're slaves, not citizens. And our corporate overlords, they're the ones who get to run this kind of shit. And for them, well, their drivers stay driving on the roads just fine. Yeah, forgive the spicy takes. That's probably why I'm played to an audience of 0, and I get a ton of views after. Y'all, I can't tell you how much I'd love it if y'all could come out for the stream and hang out and actually keep me company. But I get it. Days are busy, and most people I know are still, hell, I think Zoe's still at work too. But this is the way we go. Almost fell there. And isn't that nice? They're putting a nice deep crevice in. I wonder what they're building in there. Is that going to be a basement to some kind of giant building? Is Cottersville getting its very first actual skyscraper? That'd be neat. Are we going to make it home? I don't know. Depends on if this douche with their lights is going to share the road. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that rude? That was a bitch, not a douche. That was one of our thumb-looking residents here. For the record, I did not misspeak. I did not mean to say dumb. I did mean thumb. Most of these people, due to a diet of steady fast food and nothing else, and a very, very lethargic lifestyle, they end up looking like thumbs. Just all forehead and meat. And for the record, I would have enjoyed walking, but that's a washout, complete with broken beer bottles. Boy howdy, don't I love living in a town that their city hasn't seen this place in over 10 years. And that's being generous. That's assuming the city actually, actually surveys the roads. I'm going to guess the city came out to give those people permits, and they saw the road in the state it's in and said, howdy doody, that's fine, yep. For the record, I literally can't walk on the other side of this railing, because if I do, I will fall. The road's eroding away. And soon, well, very soon, this road might get eroded away too. It'll be all right. Me and the various other pedestrians keep jamming garbage into the gopher holes. We'll build us a road of trash. Let's shake hands with the rebar. Been hanging here for 5 years. Eventually gonna catch some poor bastard going down the road. Again, just that fine Cottersville engineering you got going. And then you got these here. Don't you love a good ankle stabber? Do you ever feel like it's not hostile architecture, it's just bad planning? Sometimes it feels like it's just bad planning things. Yeah. Had one of those religious idiots come into the stream early this morning. And I don't know how to set my stream properly. Let's be clear about something here. I don't care what you believe personally, because I'd rather not share with y'all my personal beliefs unless somebody asks or I run out of shit to talk about. But it's like, let's be clear, I'm trying not to be rude. I don't like people praying to their cult leaders for me. Because again, when it comes to prayers, I just find that to be such a useless, and I do mean truly useless, self-masturbatory endeavor. And that's all prayers are to me. It's like you're jerking off. Because what a prayer does, in my opinion, what I've seen it as, is it makes you feel better while you do absolutely nothing to help the person. I mean, literally, because, yeah, you can pray for them, but that doesn't do anything at all. Now, you want to pray for them and give them some money, that'll do something. I guarantee you the prayers aren't what's helping. And what I should have done before losing my temper with a little punk ass was to just tell him, I mean, Harvard has already done the studies. Harvard Medical School. They had church members, had a group of them, had both of them were being prayed for, but specifically told one that they were being prayed for and prayed over by the members of their church. That person's health tanked. It actually took them longer to heal and recover from a minor surgery than the other test subject who did not, in fact, know anyone was thinking or praying about them. Basically, two test subjects, let's say after because it said routine surgery. So I'm going to say, let's say after a bypass or a transplant. And again, that is key evidence. Prayers not only don't work, but they might damage your cause. Because again, we found that praying for people financially does absolutely nothing. Just what was going to happen happens. But when it comes to medical, in fact, prayers do make a difference. It makes the healing process harder. There's our couch. Ain't that a lovely couch? Please no one steal that couch. It's kind of one of my props now. Also, it has no pads on it, so it's not worth you stealing it. As soon as we can cross safely, we shall. And it looks like now might be that time. Here might be that place. Fucking run. Just barely. I did not notice. Oh, camera didn't move fast enough either. I was hoping to catch it. I did not notice that red car was coming up so quick. Whoo, buddies. But yeah. I mean, that's my thought on that one. Again, if you want to just masturbate, that's fine, but don't involve me in your mental masturbation, please. You know what I mean? And that's because I don't think, maybe they do. Again, maybe I was being the troll. But it's like, why would you tell an atheist that you're praying for them other than just to be a cunt? You know what I mean? That'd be like someone telling me, oh, by the way, don't put any bacon on that sandwich. I don't like pork. And me be going, okay, and then just dumping bacon grease on it. Well, it's not bacon, it's just the grease. Same problem. Like I said, just my thoughts. I assume that's what y'all show up for, what few times you show up. Admittedly, there ain't a lot of you. If anyone should show up, I would like to take this opportunity to shout out better creators than me. Is it counterproductive? You betcha. But it's also fair, and honestly, they're better than me at this thing. Viola Davis, I believe is her name. I shouted her out on the live stream. I also, on the posts in the community, I share her videos a good bit. Hannah Reloaded, who I will constantly shout out, because quite frankly, I just really like Hannah Reloaded stuff. Like I said, she does nothing like me. She does variety streaming. And hell, who knows? Maybe if I keep talking about how evil the government is and some of their crazy, nefarious plans, maybe, just maybe, I'll end up on a conspiracy theory stream. That'd be fun and cool. Boy, howdy, that might also be a little embarrassing, though. It's okay, I was about to say, I'll make sure I got the camera forward and not on me, just over my shoulder or on my tits. But yeah, it's one of those, I know I probably sound crazy unfiltered, but I appreciate folks walking with me, even if I'm most of the time playing to an audience of none. I see the numbers jump around. I know I'm getting views. I don't know how many people are hanging out for it. But, I appreciate what views I can get. At the moment, it's more of drumming up attention, figuring out my flow, figuring out what people would like to see and what I can and can't do. Because, again, I'm not going to be like Toilet George or whatever dude's name is acting like a Looney Tune. That's not meaning to disparage the insane. Dude's literally acting like a fucking Looney Tune. Like, I don't know. Because, again, I don't want to knock the guy. His shit works. He's making money. It's just, I couldn't do it the way he does it, you know? Admittedly, he might sit there with a plastic toilet covered in clay on his head. But hell, he's making money doing YouTube. Meanwhile, I'm doing my passion. And once I get 100 of y'all, I might start a Patreon just to dump my online content like all the pictures. Because I have well over 1,000 pictures of just various animals from the rescue, various art projects. Yeah, little things, you know. And if I get a Patreon, I'll upload those, as well as I'll upload these videos to there. I'll put links. Like I said, y'all, I'm trying to do good. I just don't know what to do. And the idea of selling anything just turns my stomach. I'm not one of these cult leaders that, oh, I hate money, but you should still give me. No. If I could just have y'all send me like food, art supplies, maps, stuff for the channel, hell yeah, I'd love that a lot more. Because quite frankly, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best. They don't exactly make classes for this. And if they made them, I really wouldn't want to take them because it feels like most of the people I enjoy watching are like myself. They do it for passion. They do it for the love of the game. The ones that I watch that do it like professionally, they're still kind of doing it for the love of the game. Like Viola, I'm hoping I'm getting her name right on here. But like Viola, she's a professional therapist. Has to look at that. Yeah, y'all. One of the many washouts. And why walking this route in the rain is an extreme sport, we could say. But yeah, Viola's not retired. She's a therapist. But you know, she refuses to work for BetterHelp or any of the scammy corporations. So now she does YouTube. Same with Miss Rebecca. I don't remember her first name or her last name either. I'm not doing good at shouting out these channels. I tell you what, go to my YouTube channel, go to the posts, and I share about every video that I see that I really like. Typically with a somewhat spicy political message. One day, especially with how fashy and pussy our country's getting, I don't like that insult. I can't think of a better term for fragile, weak, and pathetic, though. But given how fucking pathetic the U.S. is getting, I could very well be arrested, probably. Because I do think our president's a limp dick, pathetic fascist, and any piece of shit that followed him is an equally limp dick, pathetic fascist. And I think that their children, should their children be smart enough to fucking read a book in the next few years, their children will be aptly embarrassed of them. So then again, what the fuck do I know? Most Americans are ignorant as fucking dirt, so. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm also in that group, y'all. I'm a 37-year-old cook. Oh, I'm a 37-year-old cook with a twisted ankle. That hurt a little. Oh. But that's the thing, y'all, and I don't want to ever come off like I'm highfalutin or anything like that. I do consider myself better than some, let's be clear. Like some of my coworkers who I do care for as people, they just frustrate me so much for the wasted potential. Because look, the cis straight folk, y'all can be stupid. Y'all can be dumb. Hell, most of your men can get women just because they actually wash their ass. The bar's in hell and not climbing anytime soon. But as far as my fellow gays, my fellow queers, my fellows like myself, the strange ones, my brothers, my sisters, we need you. We need us. We need to make art. We need to make propaganda against the current wings. We need to work together. And above all else, we need to not fucking sell each other out. As I said, I did not expect to claw my way and survive fucking teenagedom in the 90s just to get to experience middle age and elderdom in the 90s. That's some bullshit. And I keep seeing different reports. I see one or two that's like, oh, the other generations are empathetic because millennials were just so hopeful. And I'm like, but are you fucking sarcastic? Millennials were the first ones to make the joke, ha ha, I'll just die. Millennials were the first ones to test actual edgy humor, I feel like. And I don't think it was because of hope. I think it was because, much like when I read the book from when Greta Thunberg was a child and she wrote her first book. Yeah, when you read that and you see how hopeful the kid was. She believed in us, y'all. God, I feel bad for that kid believing in us. I wish I could have warned her not to believe in us. We suck. I mean, I'll remind you guys that, yes, please share this video with someone. Because picture your grandma, picture your kid making this walk. Every school, 2 elementary schools are on the opposite side of the bridge that I live on. That, again, those kids cannot get home if they have to walk because that bridge will just straight up kill them. But beyond that, if the kids want to get to town, or if they have to go to the high school's well over there somewhere. At least 10, 15 miles in that direction. So your kid would be trying to get to school through this. And you wonder why we have problems with our education in the South. I don't wonder why. I'm surprised we're not still fucking as dumb as we were during the Civil War. I'm surprised you don't still have people doing stupid shit like burying cats at crossroads in order to get rid of curses and other shit like out of Tom Sawyer. Because no shit, y'all, when I was a kid, that was actually a viable option to some people. Again, we share a country, and I want you to really think about this for me, okay? Because it terrifies me. It's one of the things that gives old Uncle Travis a fucking heart attack. But it's, y'all, we share this planet. We share our air and our taxes and our stuff with people that still believe magic is real. Not like, oh, I believe in the magic of a young girl's heart. Not, oh, this person makes me feel butterflies and love is magic. Not, oh, the magic powers is the friends we made along the way. No, I mean believes in motherfucking magic. Like Harry Potter talking hats, talking animals, bullshit magic. And here's the problem for someone like me that was hurt by that. Because again, oh, well, it's not that bad. When people believe in magic, people with schizotypal disorders like myself go completely undiagnosed and with terrible coping mechanisms because there are groups of people that tell people like me, oh no, your hallucinations are real. Bitch, if you listen to your hallucinations, you're gonna die. Don't tell people their hallucinations are real and there is no magic in them. It's literally just my brain is broken. Got me a broken brain. A bunch of us do, right? I'm not alone in the whole broken brain. My brain's just broken differently than some of y'all's is, you know? I can tell you hiking it through the fucking 95-degree heat every day ain't good for it. But hey, I'm just happy y'all are here, and I hope I'm not too screamy for you. I would climb down there, as it would be much flatter than up here. You know what? Nah, fuck that. Let's do that. We're giving ourselves a special treat today, because I'm fucking hot. And past the tree line, I doubt anyone's going to shoot into the field. Plus, being that the angler days are over, well, now the shore is crowded with people that belong to the angler club. My God, look at them all. RVs, as far as I see that nobody's there, folks. For the record, I know I just brought up I have a schizotypal disorder. I'm making the funny joke. I'm not having a mental dilemma. No, yeah, heads up. If I start to talk to people that aren't here, like you fine fellows, but I mean like somebody, please somebody in chat bring that up. He says as if anyone is in chat. I'm pretty sure and I'm hopeful David's at home resting. He had a busy day going to the doctors today. He got to actually take Bartow Transit. Ooh la la. Oh, so fancy. Honestly, I mock it a little, but I really do wish Bartow Transit was more robust. Because the one time I got to use it, I'm not going to bitch about it. It was a good service. Oh, they picked up their hay bales. That's what's different out here. But it's a good service, and they do a good job. I just unfortunately don't have the time to give them an hour in advance, a week in advance, and then they can be an hour late and or early. And while I would love to do that, my bosses just can't do that. Not to mention, and again, not knocking the price, Bartow Transit does require you to pay $2 each way. Which again, $2 ain't shit. Hell, I don't think $2 will barely get you a drink anymore. Give me just a second. I gotta wipe my eye. Hey, well, what else can I babble on about for the next few miles? Oh yeah, Florida's newest concentration camp. Y'all, can I tell you why it's a terrible idea to let a fascist president go to his absolute worst, most Nazi commander? Someone who literally ran fucking Guantanamo goddamn Bay. Which, again, for the record, all my lefties, how is no one bringing that one up yet? That, I believe it's Ted Cruz. I could be wrong. Nope, it's Ron DeSantis. Either way, the one who runs Florida also served, supposedly, in Guantanamo Bay. So maybe let's not let him open the supposed deportation camp. Really? Well, let's be honest, it's a fucking concentration camp. It's a place that we send our people and then let them die. Because again, they're in the Florida Bayou. Where they're at, if you do not give adequate protection to people, they will just die out in that heat. I mean, you're talking about 109 degrees wet heat. And I don't know if y'all know this, so I'm going to say it. But wet heat is very different than dry heat. Dry heat is not pleasant either. Dry heat can cause a heat stroke. But there's a difference between wet and dry heat, and that is, this is going to be a Southern reference, a homespun Southern reference, but the old black ladies that are in the church with their little Jesus fans. You want to know why waving the little fan, that paper fan back and forth, cools you off? It's because the air is cooler than your body. And the air outside is cooler than the air inside. That's a euphemism. You don't have air inside minus your lungs. If you have air literally anywhere else inside your system, you're going to have problems, friend. But waving the air around with a fan cools you off because it's a dry heat. So as you move the air, it effectively cools the air. The problem with a wet heat, that being the humidity, is just that. There's no cooling it. That's also why when you walk through a heat similar to what I'm doing, it literally feels like you're drowning in it. Like you're taking in air, but you're not getting enough air with each intake. That feeling, that comes from the heavy air or the humidity, that thick swamp air. And for the record, I'm in central to northern Georgia here. Being fair and not giving you too much information, Also, don't try to look too closely into anything that I walk by out here. It would not be advisable. But, as I was saying, it's a wet heat. It's an unpleasant heat. And those good folks and they are good folks, let's be absolutely clear. So far, I don't think the Trump administration has gotten rid of one gang. They keep because here's the thing, y'all, and I hate to point it out this way, and maybe I'm having a bit of a moment, but gang members don't go to fucking court. They don't volunteer for that shit. You aren't going to pick up a bad person who's waiting for their court trial. That's not what criminals do, dude. That's why you have to keep those criminals in jail. So when they say that ICE is picking up all these people that are reporting in, what you need to hear and understand is ICE is deporting American citizens who are willing to report in. For the record, that also means that those cowardly little cunts are not going after actual, I don't know, Trinidad del Aragua or MS-13 or whatever else they're claiming to go after, because they don't want to go after criminals that will shoot at them. They would rather go after grandmas who are still trying to be upstanding citizens. And it's very upsetting to me. Because furthermore, you need to understand, and as a white person who other white people feel very comfortable around, I guess, the thing is I hear so fucking often from my fellow white folks, oh, well, I'm just going to take advantage of this system this way because the other ones are doing it. Well, I mean, if so many others are doing this, why don't I take advantage? Because they don't. One, they don't. Two, even if they did, you taking advantage of the system because they take advantage of the system breaks the system faster. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's very upsetting to me. Another thing that's very upsetting, as someone that I didn't live through it like I was there. I lived through it like I was in elementary school, and I can tell you exactly what I was doing on September 11th, 2000. I can tell you exactly what I was doing because I went from being a kid in a behavior disorder class who was already having a rough enough time of it to but we're all going to die today. Okay. And that kind of makes an impression on you as a kid. When the calm adults in your life start saying, oh shit, we're all going to die. This is a historic event. So it's that did make an impression. So let me, as an old head who's lived through that trauma, let me sort of warn you, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, all my gens below me. Gather around. I just got to warn you. They are going to lie so much to you. There's going to be so much shitty country music that comes out soon. Especially if Iran should decide to actually hit the U.S., not what it's been doing, where it's been hitting depots and hitting unarmed and unmanned areas. But they're going to start hitting if they actually start hitting real targets, y'all are going to get so much bullshit country. I mean, you don't have to deal with the trauma that is, for example, and I hate to be mean to some of my Toby Keith fans out there, Toby Keith singing about how we all need to be dipshits. Because every country music singer is going to come out with the hard stance on fight 'em, fight 'em, fight 'em. Mostly because look into a band called The Chicks, formerly the Dixie Chicks. The Chicks, back in the day, during Operation Enduring, Always, Forever, War, Whatever, Freedom, they actually came out and they said they were embarrassed that George W. Bush is from Texas, and they're embarrassed by how their fellow Texans are acting. That's it. That's all they said. Nothing else. Oh my God, you would have thought they had shouted death to America on CNN. Because they got so much hate. They were lambasted on CMT. They were lambasted on, at that time, the Blue Collar Comedy Tours TV show. Oh my God, y'all are going to get your own Blue Collar Comedy. That's going to be so cool for y'all. Oh, y'all, if you get to live, you're going to get some fun shit with all the trauma and terrible shit. I mean, like I said, Gen Alpha and Gen Beta and Gen Z, sorry, I got that backwards, I think. But I also have to remember, and what I keep arguing with some of my older coworkers about is, y'all also had it so much worse than us, because during Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Torchbolt, Operation Spearhead, and there was another one, I just don't remember what the fuck it was. Like every other year we came up with a new name for gotta bomb the shit out of the Middle East. But we didn't have to watch it if that made sense. I mean, we saw the events of Katrina unfold. That was a hurricane that hit. We saw the events of Katrina unfold through like news segments and magazines. Y'all, I'm sorry you have TikTok and the like, but I'm also kind of happy that it's there. Because I feel like if our generation had had it, maybe we wouldn't be here now. Because a lot of my generation, I like to pretend like we were, we were ignorant, but we tried our best. Like myself, I believed my teacher when he said, well, son, you just don't understand. The black folks are taken from their home, but here in America, after the Civil War, after Abe Lincoln freed the slaves, well, then it was on them. I was a young and stupid kid. I never had the chance to go, well, Mr. Moore, yeah, but where was their starting point? Because all the white plantation owners still got to keep the land. They still kept the plantation. They still kept whatever farm equipment they had. They just kicked all the people out. And none of those people got a plantation of their own to grow anything on. But as a kid, you don't think like that. As a kid, you just, oh, okay, that makes sense. Jot it down in notes. It'll be on the test. And I worry about you kids because, I mean, I would hope that the teachers today aren't like Mr. Moore was. In his case, he was just jaded. He had already made tenure. He literally said multiple times in my time in school, kids, I'm trying my best to teach you this history shit, because if I wanted to, I could just put on fucking John McCain movie. Not John McCain. It's hot out here, y'all. Old people's faces blend. Way prettier than McCain. Mel Gibson. I can just put on a Mel Gibson Patriot movie. Or, and I shit you not, the man told me we could put on Saving Private Ryan and let y'all see what war really's like. I don't know how to tell you as an adult hearing that in the back of my head from the way back of the past. I'm suddenly like, wow, that was disrespectful to the U.S. soldiers and to the other soldiers in that engagement. To say, oh yeah, kids, you sitting here and watching Saving Private fucking Ryan, the Hollywood masterpiece, would be the same as us. No, it would not, sir. No, it would not. It would probably be for... Actually, no. At that time, it wasn't even the most violent thing. The Saw movies were already out. So it's like... But that was the kind of shit we dealt with in the South. That was your top of the... For example, I'm still deconstructing some of the shit, and I've realized that I'm misusing that word, I feel. But I'm still deconstructing a little bit from, for example, my favorite teacher, Miss Collins, and I loved her. I loved that teacher. But to be quite honest, she also had me believing possums were soulless creatures. She had me convinced that Napoleon Bonaparte was the greatest leader France had ever seen. It's like, and don't get me wrong, again, this one wasn't really her fault. I just hero worshiped the teacher because she was the first teacher I had that wasn't either A, scared of me, or B, like a real detestment. Like, I don't know if you know this, folks, but kids are real good at picking up when you don't like them. And as a kid, I could really pick up on most teachers didn't like me. I mean, added to it the fact that, more than once I was told by my family, oh yeah, son, if your teachers get on to you, you might get arrested that day. I was a bad kid, but I don't think I was that bad, Oh, good. There's David. Yeah, I figured. It's no worries. Oh, you're the top commenter. Yep, you're my top fan. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. You're fine. No, I was just babbling on about Southern teachings and how all these people being worried about the indoctrination. It's like, nah, your kids are getting indoctrinated, just probably not in the way you think. It's like, one thing Miss Collins did have going for her, though, and one thing I applaud is I could not tell you to this day what's out, having known that she like loved Napoleon Bonaparte and hated possums. I'm starting to think maybe a little bit more Republican than Democratic. But also, she was a fairly intelligent woman with a master's degree in the South, so very likely Democratic, knowing that she knew as well as we know now, if you become a Republican, they don't like their women for anything more than incubators. By the way, has anyone checked in on that baby that was born of the corpse? Because last I heard, I think the baby's gone home with their mother. And I try to, like, y'all, how do I say that when I say that, I mean it as happy a news as I can? Because that's a fucking tragedy. That's that level of science that we should be frowning on. Because again, and I don't need to explain this to anyone in the chat that has watched enough sci-fi movies, y'all, what happens if the government can just take women that are almost dead and just steal their babies? I'm just saying, that's the way you end up with clone armies. That's the way you end up with groups of people that the government just doesn't care about at all. That was what I was going to talk about. Okay, y'all, buckle in and I'm going to try not to get sidetracked. I'm not even going to look at chat after this last peek at it. Okay, now, here's one of my biggest concerns that I'm actually going to be able to talk about a little bit. Have y'all ever heard of the invisible people of China? This will take a little bit of a history lesson, but during the bad old days, roughly about 30 years ago now, I take that back, scratch that, and remix it. I think it's about 60 to 80 years now. But back in the day, China had a policy where you could only have one daughter, one son. And that was it. Now, a lot of Americans in the propaganda mill tells you, yeah, because if not, they just shot your kid right in front of you. Other propaganda scary thoughts. No, it was like you could have 2 children that were on the citizens' records. After that, any children you had would not be taken care of by the state in any way, shape, or form, or the system. Meaning, China does have a very small population, and then they have a very big invisible population. These people are an extremely risky group because they aren't documented. And unfortunately, I feel like Trump getting rid of, yes. But I'm afraid that by Trump getting rid of birthright citizenship, we're going to end up with a bunch of invisible Americans. Because I'll remind you, with his stupid policy, and yes, I finally took the time. Y'all really should pay me for that. I finally took the fucking time to look at what that jackass said. And y'all, here's the plan. Here's the plan as our dipshit leader says it. Basically, if your father is an American, you're an American. If your mother is an American, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're born somewhere else and both of your parents are American, you can apply for citizenship, but you won't get birthright. If one of your parents is an American, you will just have to apply at the full age like a normal person. And about the only way you're guaranteed citizenship is having 2 American parents, American citizen parents, back at least a generation, and both of these American citizens' parents have to have your birth certificate and all that business at a proper hospital here in America. Anything else gets muddy. Furthermore, anyone that's already here, again, if one of your parents is American but the other one isn't, congratulations, in at least 30 of our 50 states, you are now an immigrant. Act accordingly, friend, as ICE will not check your ID, they will just check your skin tone. I cannot tell y'all how bothersome or scary this fact is, that some of my fellow Americans have, as of yesterday, now been put and turned into invisible Americans. Again, y'all, this is some shit that, 40 years ago, the Republicans would be threatened to hang his ass. But then again, we know how quickly and what morals Republicans have. Here, let's go ahead and list them all. Let's take some time. Yep, that's all the Republicans' morals. Money. That's all the Republicans care about. Money and their fear. That was a sharp twig. Money and their fear. And yeah, it was a one-child policy, but I believe, like I said, asshole truck. Adam Conover, I believe, did it on Adam Runs Everything, but he covered the American-Chinese propagandas, and one of the propaganda was the one-child policy, because that hasn't been a policy in quite some, over 80 years, I want to say it's been. But it's also because either limiting or trying to force your population to have children. Ask Norway how that went, because Norway tried to do the same but opposite. Instead of having a one-child policy, Norway started it's still a policy, but it's considered like a bonus, because they aren't going to make you breed. But at the same time, if you had like 2 kids, you got an extra stipend on your taxes or something like that. Had 3, bigger stipend. And Germany also did something like this a good while ago, and they had the Mother's Medal. It was a very unique group that did this, a very, very unique group. And it's a group that, well, most of us hate today except for the right wing, who ironically are trying to bring that group back. What's that group's name? I don't know. I don't see them, It's like an entire group that we work really hard to not see at all. It's a whole party that we work really hard to not see here in this country. Almost like there's a not see party here. Do you like that? I can't take credit for that. I believe that was Noah Sampson's joke. I'm just borrowing it and painting a pretty face on it. But at the same time, it goes without saying, that's how it be. And I refuse to be nice about it anymore. We're at a time now where I can't be. So understand when I post that argument from this morning, and it is a bit of an argument from this morning's live stream. Guys, I got a little heated and I got a little stupid, and for that I apologize. But I'm not going to apologize for what I said, because I feel what I said was pretty damn accurate. And when he accused me of not Googling something, no, I hadn't Googled it at that time. But y'all, can I tell you how many times I Googled how many religions have the golden rule to point out that isn't... Okay, y'all, to say Jesus Christ said treat everyone like you want to be treated, that is such a bullshit thing, because literally every religion says that. You ain't special. Literally every religion says to treat others as you want to be treated. And the tangent I was in about that one was... But, see, this is why I like having a friend that actually does the research for me. It was the 1970s, 50 years ago. Hungary have foreign females don't have to pay taxes. That's pretty nice. I don't like saying female, though. For some reason, every time I say female, in the back of my head, I hear a Ferengi going, females? And I don't like it. I don't like that little nog part of me. But... no, we'd gotten into an argument over that, and I'm sorry, but it falls back on something that I have to say that sounds a bit harsh, but it's accurate. Because he was all about that stupid love bullshit. And here's the thing, y'all. If you love everyone regardless of just love, your love is pathetic, and I don't want it. Now, let me be clear. That I don't say the opposite of that. Oh, then hate everyone. But no. Treat people normal. Love and hate are extreme emotions, and they are for extreme situations only. I love my friends very, very much, and would go above and beyond for my friends. I hate mostly ideas. There are very few people, though there are a few, that I hate. Because again, strong emotions. And understand, the individuals I hate, it's for good reason. You ain't talking me out of it. And that hate certainly ain't ever going to turn to love. Whoa, we're officially to the halfway point. And I'm really wondering if AutoZone is officially open or not. I want to say they're not, but boy howdy, it'd be nice to have something cold to drink, you know? I can't wait for them to open, not because I'm going to get a damn thing for a car, just because it's going to be nice to have a new place to get a soda or a cold water at. Because again, y'all, if I ran the state, you give me the cords to the purse, I'm going to be putting in a lot of different things for the people, not for the fucking companies and corporations. I'm talking like water fountains. I'm talking like benches, park benches up and down the road, porta potties, or full-on bathrooms if we could get them installed. Bathrooms complete with like a showering area. That way the homeless in Georgia could also get a shower. Like I said, I feel that it's a country's strength to show what it can do for its citizens. I don't think it's showing a country's strength to force its citizens to do outrageous nonsense. Also, just for the record, most of the world doesn't agree, or most of the world agrees with me and not the U.S. in that one too. And thankfully, apparently, as does New York, as Zoran Madani has won New York so far. We will see if the Democrats slit their own throat for sake of policy again. Let us hope we do not get a repeat of what happened between Bernie Sanders and that bitch Hillary Clinton. Because again, I do think we wouldn't have had Trump as an issue if we had just let Bernie win like he would have done. But no. I mean, I'm fine with that. That's probably because I had shitty father figures outside of like the one that adopted me. Burdine William Mays Jr., he was a good man, at least to me. None of the rest of my father figures were worth a shit. And I'm sorry, but given the lack of accountability in American men most of the time, I'd say I'm fine with that one too. Again, my dudes, video games and drinking is not a personality trait. Those are, at best, hobbies and escapism. And I really don't think alcohol should be your hobby unless you're making it. Yep, that's a warm Dr. Pepper now. Let the record officially show. There we go. Let the record officially show. By the time we reach the Cherry Glane Cherry Man, the Dr. Pepper from Ingles, out of the fridge at Ingles, has gone from deliciously cold, keeping my hand cool, to room temp at the train tracks, to now it feels like I'm drinking a nice warm cup of Dr. Pepper tea. And we've been trying to avoid the blacktop as much as possible for sake of not letting its heat, which believe me, it's hot, divert our numbers. Flipping the camera again. Flippity-dippity. Is loud and energized a personality, is loud and obnoxious funny. I feel like I'm about to fly away like Mary Poppins, but with a sombrero. I'm joking, of course. By the way, I don't know if someone was being racist or not. is this a proper Hispanic mustache? Because I thought it was just a mustache. Like if it had a name, Cowboy Mustache. Because it's not quite fuzzy enough and bold enough to be a porno mustache, but it's too thick and bold to be a creepy pervert mustache. And it goes past my lips, so it's not a Ned Flanders. Am I being racist and I gotta fucking, I don't know. I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be. I like my mustache, you know? And I like to think that it's, you know, nice. I mean, the orange fled it way quicker than I expected, but the purple's staying in. Let that be a lesson to you folks. That is the difference between Splat and Arctic Fox. For me. For the record, another friend of mine and another YouTuber, Forget Me Not, the YouTube channel, primarily uses Splat because she says it lasts longer. I can tell you it does in my hair last a little longer, it seems. But as a trade-off, for some reason, it will stain much longer. Like Arctic Fox, leave it in for an hour, wash it out. Your pillow will be at risk for like a day. After that, sweat and all that, wash it one more time and you're good to go. No more color leakage. For Splat, I leak like the entire time. Like the entire time Splat's in my hair. If I sweat too much or something, I lose a little bit. And I'm fine with that, let's be clear. Honestly, I was giving some debate to just going ahead and bleaching all the color out again and just kit after kit after kit until I can get it platinum. And then from platinum, try to, I don't know, seal a color in it. I don't know. I'm still debating it and still playing with the idea. Woo! My leg's gonna itch like a motherfucker when I get home. But this is about mid-range. We still got a good little bit of time for the city's gonna come through and cut this again. And if the rains keep up like they've been keeping up, soon I won't be able to avoid the blacktop. Then it'll be us walking home on the blacktop and just taking several breaks for when I have to give right away to the cars. Even though technically, get real technical, pull out your manual, pedestrian always has the right of way. Yeah. Let's see who wins in a sumo fight, me or that Ford. Oh yeah, that Ford's gonna win. GMC, screw off. It looked like a Ford. They all look the same to me. All you trucks look the same. That counts as a joke, right? I laughed at it. Someone laughed at it, damn it. And this is a bit of prairie flower. Pretty, and it smells lovely for if you have to, you know, ward off the smell of corpse. It makes a lovely smell and it doesn't itch. Then you got this, what I've lovingly called soap grass. It's just, it makes, when it rains, it's super slick. When it doesn't rain, it provides really good cover for insects, rabbits, snakes, and teeny tiny mammals. Honestly, if they're little enough, they might be having an easier time traveling than I am. The air's just thick through here. It's thick with two H's, as the kids would say long ago. But yeah, honestly, that's just, it's top of the hour 24. Hopefully none of y'all are having to see ads on my channel. You shouldn't be. I don't have ads turned on, so you shouldn't be. For the record, I'm going to try to never turn ads on. And the only ad reads I'll ever do are for products that I not only use but truly believe in. And by that I don't mean they send me free stuff. I mean I actually believe in it. for all you creators that somehow get free stuff, because I heard that on one of the YouTube reports, that's something that the kids are having trouble with on YouTube, these content creator channels that are just mostly unboxing videos and the like. I mean, yeah, you could consider yourself a victim of sorts. The corporations keep sending you their garbage. Or, I might add, use it against them. Start giving away their garbage that they send you for free. And talking shit about them if it's a bad product. On top of that, just that, I mean, I personally feel like we should just all stand a little bit more on our own policies, you know? Because the right wing sure apparently isn't budging on their horrible, unspeakable shit. Hell, there are right wing men out there that have never once washed their own asshole or wiped. Because in their broken, disgusting little brains, they think, but that'll make me gay. And I mean, bro, I guess if washing your ass makes you gay, just call me fucking... I almost said Orlando Bloom, but that's not fair. Fuck, what was his name? Neil Patrick Harris. Might as well just call me Neil Patrick Harris. Because it's like, I'm sorry, it's basic hygiene. It's like I have arguments with millennials, and I can tell if you're an elder or younger millennial based on this. Who remembers metrosexuals? Who remembers metrosexuals? I remember metrosexuals. Do you remember metrosexuals? I remember them. What it was in the 90s and early 2000s, you were considered a metrosexual if you were a straight man. Give me a second. If you were a straight man that watched Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, you were a metrosexual. If you were a straight guy that enjoyed Will and Grace, or as their main sign was, if you were a straight guy that did more than just bathe in Axe body spray, you were considered a metrosexual. Oh, you style your hair? Metrosexual. Oh, you use deodorant. I just use a spray. It was a term for people. It was a whole, and then I think it died off because all the people getting called that basically fired back with the, no, I just bathe. Why ain't you washing your ass? And I feel like we need to bring that one back. Just, we need to straight up, not shame, but you know, side eye. Throw a little bit of that shade since our government seems to want to get rid of all the trees that provide it. Because again, my dudes, you should check your health. I mean, for the record, I do believe it's possible to check your own prostate. Now, if you notice something strange up in there, you might want to go see a doctor because we ain't doctors. But you should be able to, yeah, it feels about the same as the last time I felt it. You should be able to do that. I don't understand people that don't have an intimate knowledge of their own bodies. Because it's like, it's your body. How do you not know your suit, you know? I mean, I might not know how to pick out clothes to fit my suit properly all the time, but I at least know it. And if I try on enough outfits, I can tell you what feels comfortable and what doesn't. Now, arguably, that's how I found out that I wasn't quite straight. Because I am quite comfortable in a dress. And I'm fine with that fact. Honestly, my wardrobe would be much more genderqueer if we didn't live in the shittiest part of the South we could live in next to Mississippi. Not an ad at Mississippi, for the record. I know there's a few good people down there and whatnot. I'm just talking overall, I'm less likely to get hate crimed in Georgia than in Mississippi. I mean, about the same in Mississippi and Alabama. But it's just, you know, our country's not well. But if we all work together, we can make it better. On that, I promise you all. If we work together, we can do anything. Remember, the last time the Nazis showed their ugly cousin fucking faces, We kicked them in the teeth, then we sent them back to hell. And if we had actually finished the job instead of letting the capitalists have their way, we wouldn't have this problem today. So this time, no matter what the capitalists and the Americans say, once we get Hitler on the ropes this time, we fucking finish him, right? Right? If this shit goes into World War III, we're gonna finish it this time with the Nazis, right? Because again, y'all, I love Steven Universe. I'm going back to rewatch it. It's arguably a little bit after my time. I love Steven Universe. Don't get it twisted. I love him. But y'all, sometimes the villain can't be redeemed. Sometimes you just need to put the villain. For sake of TOS, I can't go any further in this. I must say, I am very supportive of meine Leader. Meine Führer is not a terrible person. He is a good leader. And he is a very special little boy. For TOS and sake of not getting, picked up by the Gestapo. And yes, exactly, thick with 2 C's. I said thick with 2 A's. I'm not doing well. I think my brain's cooking in this hat. Also, I do still have hair, just an FYI. Every kid that I work with, Travis, did you shave your head? Oh no, I see the bun. For the record, I have long hair. Once there are 100 of you, I'll reveal how long that hair is. Maybe it's just a high and tight. Maybe it's a mohawk. Maybe it's fancy. Maybe it's down to my ass. Who knows? 100 of y'all show up, and you can find out. And for the record, if enough people want OnlyFans, I'll do that too. I'm just learning shit, I don't know what people want. I'm still trying to be a people pleaser. Mostly because, please get me out of fast food, y'all. I want to cook because I want to cook. I want to cook for the love of it. Not because some dipshit don't know how to make breakfast. For the record, my day started making 47 fucking chicken biscuits. Ah! I joke and I jest, but you guys, for fuck's sake, really? Chicken I'll kind of give you, because frying chicken can be difficult in your own home. But y'all, sausage, come on. Come on, y'all. Sausage and pancakes, y'all should be able to do that. I could do that when I was a fucking child. Y'all should be able to do that. Biscuits, maybe not. Biscuits can be complicated too. Though, as my grandmama would tell y'all folks, they make them right there in the store. You just gotta get you that can there, stick it in the stove, there you go. Now, if you want to make them by hand, make them by hand, but store-bought's fine too, and it's right there. And it's a lot cheaper than buying them by the singles, just saying. I'm sort of getting into myself. I got a shiny face. Now, also, for sake of the uniform, I did swap out of the uniform. Because we have a tiny porta-john bathroom for the employees. That was funny. That was funny. I got in the line. Because it was Miss Dawn, our boss, had to take a shit. So she had to take a shit. Then Alan had to take a shit. His shit didn't have a stink to it, so I'm guessing he was playing on his cell phone. Then I ran in there and literally got my shirt, my work shirt off, and I got like this shirt half on, suspender half on, where I got a knock at the door, and I'm like, fuck, well, if you got to go to the bathroom for real, I buttoned it up real quick and went walking out with half a suspender on. What are you doing changing for? And why are you changing the long sleeves? Because I don't want to wear my work uniform. Me and my boss got a little thing worked out. I don't show off the work uniform, and I, in exchange, get to maintain my shitty job. Who knows, mate? Sorry about that, y'all. Who knows? Maybe one day it won't be such a shitty job. I don't know what's going to happen when I go down. I hope I don't disconnect, but I'm about to check something right quick. I hope that was a Lotus. That was cool. Sorry for going away. Sorry for going away. I know it go away when I checked my stuff. But on the bright side, things good. And let's flip the camera back around. Honestly, this is one of the more also almost home. Yay! Loud fast is a personality trait, right? It does when you've been going this long. Guess who has 2 thumbs and didn't take a break today? This idiot. Partly it was by choice, partly it was because I didn't realize time had already run out on me that fast. Sometimes that shit happens, you know? Before David had shown up, I was committed to singing. I'll spare David's ear. I don't think it was a canidid. It looked like a giant grasshopper, so I'm guessing locust. It was just unexpected for it to jump on me, you know? Yeah. Had me a moment. For the record, I make funny noises, but it really wasn't that scary, to be honest. I don't think they go after humans. I think that if it was like back in the day, it might have eaten the shirt off my back. Or, you know, any hemp or fibrous things. But I don't think they eat flesh. You know, something that does, though, our friend from South America, that is now our neighbor from South America, the flesh-eating fly. For the record, my fellows, and my fellow Southerners who don't have a dryer, this now means that not yet, but very soon, we might get to deal with the lovely, terrible fear that is the botfly. Oh, you don't know what the botfly is? Well, let me tell you of its deep lore. The botfly is an African-style insect that, as an adult, may bite you, but its main thing that you need to be concerned with is that it lays eggs on drying clothes. That if you then put those drying clothes on, the eggs will hatch and they burrow painlessly into your skin. At which point they mature, growing like a boil before bursting out of your skin. To make matters worse, if it's a botfly and not a boil, and you pop it, well, then you leave yourself open to wildly bad infection, as well as if the botfly is not in its pupa form yet, you know, you're going to kill it and get all its goo inside of you. If it is in its pupa form, at the very least, it'll pop out of you like an ugly giant boil. As a reference, if you would like to see it in Hollywood with the fun makeup, check out Bones. I'm not sure which season, but Hodgins, the lab tech, has it. And it's during the whole storyline after Zach is gone and before he comes back, when he and... I cannot remember her name now. The very human one, the one that did their facial reconstructions. That lady. The one that had ZZ Top as a father, supposedly. Both the actress and in character in the show. But I do not think I have to work on the 4th. I am not yet positive, though. I should not have to work on the 4th. But again, are all of my coworkers going to show up? Is one of them perhaps going to overindulge or imbibe in the alcohol before? Who knows? I know one of my favorite explosives is on sale for $5 right now, but I don't want to get none right now. Because if I get fun explosives, TOS, I can't talk about it any further. So I'm just not going to get any fun explosives. So I can't never do none. See, when I laugh afterwards, it lets you know that I've delivered a joke that I don't know if it landed or not. I'm trying to convey that in no way am I making a terroristic threat. I'm making a fun, edgy joke. Ha, ha, ha. That's not a real laugh. But in my defense, this hill's kicking my ass. But the hill is a fairly pretty one. And like I said, if it weren't just a waste of space, that'd be pretty nice out there. For the record, when I say waste of space, that doesn't mean put a fucking golf course there. It'd be nice to, have a third place for our youths. Or a third place for our adults. I mean, that would also be cool. But I'm willing to take the hit and still live on the digital world. If we could just get a third place, some of these kids could learn how to talk to each other. Because again, to say there is a male loneliness epidemic. Again, I believe the dudes can have problems getting girls. I've seen them. I believe it. But here's the thing, dudes. There are over 400 million dudes that have no one to talk to. There are 400 million of you. Talk to each other. Like I said, the male loneliness epidemic is just, no, none of you dudes got game. You're not lonely, you're horny. Deal with that problem and the loneliness will go away in time. Because here's the thing. Again, loneliness on that level is kind of a choice because there's over 400 million of you fucks. I don't believe that incel is inevitable. I don't believe in incel, for the record. That's because, and his name has long since left my brain, but there was one kid back in my he was in high school, but back in high school that said the most saged fucking thing ever. And he had the fucking balls to say it in the middle of class, so I applauded the shit out of that. But it was health class. He was asleep, as he was for most of his classes that we were in together. Can't imagine why he looked like a full-ass adult while the rest of us were kids. But he was asleep, and the health teacher woke him up and said, whatever his name is, and I don't remember how he said it, but he said it basically, hey, if you don't wake up, you ain't gonna know how to talk to these girls and play the game right. And the dude looks dead at this teacher, one eye open, like half awake, and just, yeah, I got two hands, I'm fine. What if you lose a hand? I still got an extra, I'm good. And he just went back to sleep. No fucks given. Now, am I saying that kid had a wonderful life? No. That child was Elon. Nah, but wouldn't that be fucked up? I did go to Cotillion. I don't remember any of the people in that part of my life. Too much of my youth was spent locked away in isolation to remember them. Which, by the way, let me be the test case, y'all. That fucks kids up worse than anything else. To this day. Because, yeah, my parents also tried beating my ass, corporal punishment style. But the isolation's what fucked with me bad, so that's what they tried to do more. Problem is with kids, lock them away. Yes, Angela Montenegro. But that's the character from Bones. But lock them away from everything. And eventually, the other kids forget them too. They become that freak. And then, when you try to reintegrate them back into that society no longer wants them. And after a few dozen failed attempts, they no longer want that society. And they just grow up lonely and angry. And when they can get therapy, they might balance that anger out and turn into wonderful artists. And when they don't, they end up walking in the sun, getting a heat stroke, and doing their very best to make fun YouTube videos to reintegrate into humans again, considering that, they don't really know how to deal with humans. That's me. I know this story because that is me, and I know not to isolate kids because that's the kind of shit that happens. And yeah, it's effective. It'll scare them. It's the one punishment method I've found that works 100% of the time. But you shouldn't isolate kids. And isolation is a terrible thing to do to a kid. In my case, I think it was to say that. In my case, I think it required being crossed. Because apparently, the school kept me isolated, because I was a disruptive little shit and would fight a lot and wanted to be the center of attention. When I was in the neighborhood, I was isolated because I was a mean little shit and wanted to fight a lot. And if I saw somebody insulting or hurting someone else, I'd try to jump in there like a little Batman and get my ass kicked or kick ass. But either way, nobody wants to be friends with the sheriff or the narc, so I didn't have friends on either side. And I developed like 1 or 2 or 3 real close connections. But to this day, I don't know, I lack those social skills. Because when I should have been learning them, I was isolated. And what they should have done, and I guess they did it just didn't work, was give me playmates that I could be around. Instead, they gave me adults. And I don't know a lot about what happened there. There's a lot of blanks that I don't really want to go digging into without the... Aw, thank you. I can't see it anymore. So apparently that's the level of orange that just turns to brown and gray for me. Because I can't see it. It just looks like I got purple and then non. Like normal hair, purple hair. So I was going to bleach it all into a flat blonde. And maybe cosplay Shalashaska. Or Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid. Actually, not to ruin any surprises, but I think my hair might actually be longer than Revolver Ocelot's. I'm not positive anymore on that one. Also, I guess it depends on which generation. Because when he first shows up in the game, his hair is actually quite short. He's got a buzz cut. But that's because he was just a part of the Spetsnaz at that point. I think Spetsnaz. See, Ocelot in the character of Metal Gear Solid was one of the spies, and I guess you never really get to tell which side he was on, because if you talk to him, he's always on the side of Russia. He'll always be on the side of his country. But by the end of the game series, by the beginning of the game when I started playing, he was very much on the whole, he only really respected the boss. And at that point in time, like every other one of his conversations at the end of the game, ended with a big dramatic line, big reveal, and then, thank you, Mr. President. And that's all. His whole line at the end of each game was basically, oh no, Ocelot was actually the spy the whole time. I don't know. You know, I like the games. I didn't obsess over them as much as I did Devil May Cry or Resident Evil or some of the more mystical fun ones. Or Saints Row. Yeah. I feel like the sun's been hitting. I feel like the sun's been beating the shit out of me personally. But we're almost there. And we'd be alright if the northern water's clear. I can't sing. Well, I think I can sing better than my skill set showing right now in the wind. But when I tried to sing that bit, my throat just sort of locked down like I ate a bug. Come here. Right now, I'm doing my best to avoid these leaves of 3, while also still trying to give y'all a fun show. And trying to think of something else to talk about, because it's like Alligator Alcatraz is the new name they're giving the U.S.'s new concentration camp, that they're letting the piece of shit that ran a piece of Guantanamo Bay run it. And again, can I tell y'all how bad that's going to be? Like, the Nazis had to come up with killing factories. It's Florida in the summer. All you need to do is stick them outside with no water and they'll die. Horribly, but they'll die. Do you think that the fucking Florida governor is going to give 2 shits when migrants and American citizens alike? Hell, he don't give a shit when his own citizens get washed away every hurricane season. I don't get it, y'all. all my life, especially being raised in the South. All I ever heard was, let them come try to take them. And it appears that that is, in fact, just empty words from empty men. Because when said, well, let them come try to take them. Yeah, they come. They took them. You handed them over. What the fuck? I mean, I didn't carry guns and I wasn't gonna, and I'm still not planning on it because I'm a wildly angry person. And a gun, well, that makes making bad decisions real quick and in a hurry. I don't want a gun. I can do just as much damage with my cooking accessories. And on the bright side with my cooking accessories, if I have to break them out for undisclosed reasons, I also have the skills to feed my dogs really well for the next couple weeks. I should stop making those kinds of jokes. For sake of security, that's a joke. That's a joke. I would never butcher off a big old piece of baboon for my dogs. Either way, y'all, I'm checking my leg because it feels like there's something crawling on me. And typically when I feel something crawling on me, it's a fucking tick. It is not this time, thankfully. I will probably get a shower when I get home before we do a live stream, just to be sure. But yeah, y'all, we're about to the end of our journey, sadly, and I shall miss y'all. We will do another live stream in the early morning, as is the plan always, and we'll try to do another gaming stream tonight. Like I said, I get home, first I need to get the cat crap out of the shower floor. That'll be fun. And then I'll scrub the shower floor, get a quick shower, check myself for ticks, and then we'll do a live stream. Possibly, probably Assassin's Creed, maybe Saints Row. Definitely Minecraft is a chill out, closeout stream. But for now, y'all, we're about at the end of it. This is live from U Harley. And I thank y'all very much for walking home with me. We'll see you tomorrow morning, and then we'll see you again in the afternoon for another walk home. My book that I was going to take notes with apparently got commandeered by management, so I'm not even complaining about it. I'll just need to get a notebook for bullet points. And tomorrow, hopefully, I'll have a few bullet points. That way, I don't get lost so much in the talks, you know? Because, yeah, these ain't supposed to be the rambly streams they are quickly becoming. But they is what they is, you know? Oh, hello, other person. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry you showed up here at the tail end of it, but we still appreciate you coming out. And as always, y'all, it's about community more than anything else. Endure and survive together. Many apes together. Strong. Let us be strong apes together. Like I said, if you see something you can do for the people in your life, do it. Be nice. Endure and survive. I love y'all. Be good. Bye for now.